Good morning, everyone. Buenos días, mi gente. My name is Line Correa Velez, and I am the Vice President of Leadership Programs here at HACE. HACE is the Hispanic Alliance for Career Enhancement. We are a national nonprofit dedicated to the employment, development, and advancement of current and aspiring Latinx identified professionals. Our mission is to positively impact the American workplace by cultivating the pipeline of Latinx, Hispanic talent and providing professionals the insight, access, and support to be successful in their careers. Today, we have an amazing guest, Priscilla Guasso. She is the founder and CEO of Latinas Rising Up in HR. But before we get to interviewing Priscilla, I have two announcements I want to make sure that you all know about. We have two virtual events. One is Coaching Corner. This is an opportunity for you to get some amazingly talented career coaches to career coach you for a low fee through ASE tomorrow, Wednesday, October 17th. It is available from the morning and afternoon and potentially early evening times. There will be a link in the chat box so that you can register, or if you know somebody looking to get their resumes checked out, their LinkedIn audits, please either register yourself or share the link. So the link will be in the chat box soon. The second announcement I have is it's happening on Tuesday, October 29th from 11:30 to 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's a conversation around Latinas in the workplace. And as you know, yesterday, October 15th, was the formal ending of Latinx Hispanic Heritage Month, but we celebrate Latinos, Latinas, Latinx, Hispanic identified individuals all year round. So please join us virtually on Tuesday, October 29th from 11:30 to 1 Central Standard Time. And that link to register will be in the chat. And as you all know, we do our best to make sure that it's either free or low cost. So these two events are low cost and free. So please share away. Now, to my amazing guest, Priscilla, how are you? ¿Cómo está? And how do you like your cafecito or morning beverage of choice?
Buenos dias. It's so great to be on here, Lynette. As we were talking off stage, it's always a pleasure to be with the ACE family. I love my cafecito, actually cafe con leche. That's what I have well, not every morning because it's a little too much sugar, lots of caffeine, right? But, cheers to our teams today.
Cheers.
You always find me with a cafe con leche. And I live in Florida. They've really turned me to the cafe con leche there. Again, just not so strong.
Yeah.
Be bouncing off the walls by 3 o'clock.
I agree. But let me tell you, sometimes I do need a strong coffee as a mom that works outside the home. So, and I understand you have a new little one as well.
Yes. She is turning 1 in 5 days. And so for those mamas and dads out there, I have my hearts to you. And especially for us that are a little older, having our kids, it's possible, but sending all the positive vibes your way because yes, the cafecito does help for sure.
Absolutely. And for those of you watching in virtual world, let us know how you like your morning beverage of choice. And also let us know, where are you chiming in from? What part of the US or abroad? So Priscilla, can you tell us a little bit about your cultural and professional background? It can include, various intersecting identities and of course, how you got to your career in HR.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me here. I love being able to have a space to talk about just what we're building, what we're doing, kind of a little bit of my background to help others, and know that I am not the exception, right? On the contrary, I think all of us can achieve these levels, right? But my background is I'm very proud Mexican American, first generation on my mom's side, second generation on my dad's side. My mom immigrated to Chicago, Illinois, where I'm originally from, to have me with my dad, and we grew up there in the States, there in Chicago. And as I've gotten older, right, I went to college at the University of Illinois. Go Illini! I And so if you are proud Illini, please let me know as well in the comments. I love having family from there too. But again, my background really started. I was such a quiet kid, and I have to start there because everyone sees us on these live feeds and think, oh my gosh, they are always been extroverts. No, I was a very quiet kid, curious but quiet, and over time didn't know where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do. I think at one point I was going to be a social worker, and I feel like that's kind of embedded in what I do within human resources. I won't take away the credit though for our social workers. We need them, and it takes a lot to
Absolutely.
become one. So,
Mhm.
but there's days where I'm going, oh my gosh, this could have been me every day. And so I started thinking that was my route. And when I went to U of I, was undecided, went for computer science, and then made a switch into marketing and business, realizing, no, that's going to be the place where it opens doors for me. From there, I realized I really want to work in hospitality. But I think back in the day, it was called leisure studies. And there was no way my dad, who's an engineer, was we laugh about it to this day because he's like, you are not going to get a major in leisure studies. What does that even mean? So I followed his insights and advice, and actually ended up getting a marketing and business degree, all of which I ended up working in hospitality, and truly where they needed more my experience in hospitality than just my degree. That was part of it, right? So I didn't have that. I didn't have that experience, and it's a funny story actually. I heard someone say one time, when you're a student, you have the superpower of being a student. And I'm like, okay, what does that even mean? I
Right.
mean, people want to help you, right, Lynette? I mean, they want to
And
help. I'm going, oh my gosh, yes. How can I help you? What can I do? Where can I speak? What can I give you? Like,
yeah.
I had these tools. I wish I would have had them, right? And I'll give them away. So someone once said, if you really want it, you have to go for it. And I took it literally. So I looked up the Hyatt headquarters, phone number, address. I looked up a few of the leaders there, found a leader that happened to be Latino, which is, I mean, we see there's 1% of Latinos in the C-suite, right? So I'm going, again, divine intervention. I believe for me, it was God that said, this is the path, going down this
Yeah.
route. I put on a suit. I saw Hyatt's headquarters was in Chicago, and I just showed up. So my career
Amazing.
started there, and I met with this individual. His name is Sal Mendoza, who is also on your board, I think, at some point. And
Yes. Amazing.
he's out now at NBC Universal, and he gave me the time of day, and that showed me about leadership. And I know we're going to talk about that today about jefas and jefes, right? So
Mhm.
he opened that door for me and pretty much guided me on how to work my way through Hyatt without the experience that I had. I did a shadow during my summers and my breaks to be able to build a little bit more experience and to meet the right people. So I start that there, but I'm now in human resources, right? So I made the pivot about a year afterwards,
Yeah.
and decided I wanted to do HR within the hotel space because I could use my language. Many of our employees spoke Spanish, and
Mhm.
it was empowering to be able to help our teams when they had questions and no one spoke Spanish in HR. And
Mhm.
that began my journey in human resources. Then we speed up 18 years later where I am today. And I've been on almost every facet of human resources, benefits, employment, employee relations, investigations, workers' comp. And now I'm on this purpose-driven mission of finding ways to really impact our leadership levels so that we have more Latinas in human resources at those represented at those levels. So it's amazing. I couldn't tell you that this is what I would have done 20 years ago by
I
any means.
know. And I
Still,
mean, it certainly sounds like, the HR career found you. So tell us a little bit more on how you founded and became CEO of Latinas Rising Up in HR.
we always hear we can be the one, right? The power of one, and you could have a big idea. And for the longest time when I was younger, I felt this itching of, I want to do something, but I don't know what it is. And I didn't think it was going to be a big thing or small. I just felt this calling to do something, and I kept suppressing it. I kept saying, one day, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Is it, I'm helping my sister? Is that it? Is it I'm helping my family out? Is that it? And I realized it's that itch of what your mission and your purpose is in life. And many times we hear, oh, well, you need to figure it out right away. And it's really a journey. I'm still, as we kept saying offline, we're still figuring it out. We're still working through it. But when I started moving up through human resources and into different levels and got to my last level about 3 or 4 years ago, and I became an executive in HR, I had this moment where I go, where are my fellow Latinas? Like I saw them as I was rising up, but I just didn't see them as I hit that final, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm one level away from the CEO. I'm a
Right.
VP and senior director in HR. Where are my people?
Mhm.
But I think because I was so focused in my DEI roles and focusing on all communities and then also on my own career, because I didn't know how to do this, I was figuring that out too. You have this tunnel vision and not on purpose, you're just trying to figure it out, right? At one point in my career, then that's when I realized, oh, there's more to than just scaling up. There's how do we bring others with us, right? And so that's when I realized one day I'm going to bring more Latinas in HR up with me. One day. And I had this idea for 5 years. And actually, Sal, who became a sponsor, a mentor, a coach, and now is a really good friend.
Yeah.
He goes, just do it. What are you waiting on? And you need those people in your life. And I had someone
Always.
else do the same thing. You just go for it. I go, well, why me? I'll be the number two, and I'll help and champion that person, and I'll be the one behind the scenes.
Mhm.
We tend to do that a lot, right? We make ourselves small. And so that's when I decided, you know what, you're right. I'm going to do it. I've launched BRGs and ERGs from beginning to zero, right? From
Yeah.
0 to 100. I've led teams. I've led researching initiatives. I've done all these things. I've led big corporate events and career fairs. So why can't it
Why
be?
not you? Mhm.
And after doing different board work, right, when I was there with Mujeres de HACE with you all, and I did board work with the University of Illinois, the Latina Alumni Association, and then the National Hispanic Corporate Council, I have the skills to do this. And
Mhm.
I took the jump, and here we are 4 years later, 3 books published, almost 9,000 women across the country, going into Latin America.
Tracy Lavis.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
getting a lot of love in the chat right
Thank
now.
you. Thank you. It takes a community. It takes a community to do it. And I tell this every time, life is a gift and I could not be here tomorrow. And my hope is that we create synergies and processes so that this sustains past me, right? That's part of the legacy that we're all building. And that way, at the end of the day, I would love for us not to have these organizations that pull us out and like put us in these, right? That I'm just Latina. No, I'm not. I'm so many other things to your question. Who are you? I'm a mom, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a best friend, I'm a goofball, but I'm also very serious and professional.
That's right. That's
And
right.
so I wish we could have more of these places. And that's, I think, what we're trying to create right in our each of our spaces. So I'm seeing friends in the chat. I love it. Marcia,
Yes.
so good. If you don't know Marcia, you need to reach out to her. She's doing amazing work in Cleveland and really bringing out more Latinos with her top Latino 100 Latinos to watch out for. But again, it's community. Even like seeing her on here and others where I wouldn't be your question of how did you get here?
Yeah.
It truly was a community of women
Mhm.
and men and allies that said, I think what you're doing is really needed, and how can I help? And
And
rolling up their sleeves.
on that note, you have something really exciting happening next month, November 2024. Tell us a little bit about that and give us a website.
Yes. So if you are not connected with us already, please go to latinasrisingupinhr.com as it's in the chat. We have our mentorship circle. This is now the third mentorship circle, if I'm not mistaken. And we pretty much partner with our authors and with Netflix, and we bring in different speakers to focus on HR growth. And we really want to be a place where, again, I heard so many times, I'm a Latina in HR. I've never seen someone else like me in executive roles, or how do I get to the next level in my career within HR? And so we've created a program's 5 weeks. We meet every 2 weeks, and I'd invite you to join us. There's a small investment to be part of it, and honestly, at the end of the day, we've heard nothing but amazing things. And I'm a little biased here, right? But we do get feedback, and the constant theme is, I have community. I feel like I can be myself. In HR, it can be a little difficult because we hit a lot of topics that sometimes we don't feel safe to be able to share with others. So I invite you all, if you're in human resources, to join us, or you're considering to get into that field, because the mentorship, it's regardless of your levels. We partner you with someone at your level or above to be able to have that coaching and that mentorship relationship.
Oh, I love that. So, please definitely, if you're considering working in HR or currently work in HR, consider being part of Latinas Rising Up in HR Mentoring Circle. The link will be posted for the website in the chat. And also join the mailing list, right?
Yes, yes. Everything goes through our website, or honestly, I post everything on Instagram and LinkedIn. So please follow us. We have, we now have, and this is a new piece too, is we now have 15 ambassadors across the country, and they're tasked with really getting, hands on the ground and helping us build those relationships. So we have Chicago and Dallas and LA and San Francisco. So big shout out to Yedith, who has been my right hand in helping me build this. But again, we're this coming year, I'm so excited for it, Lynette, because I feel like this is the impactful year. We've been making impact. I mean, our book alone was volume 3, but there's just so many things that we're doing because these amazing women are stepping up. Their leadership is like, yes, how can I be part of this? How can I get more Latinas so we can
And they're
blow out
raising their
of the
hands.
water? We want to blow that 1% out of the water of
That's
Latinas
right.
in the C-suite, right? I think Lenin had that, and that was shared by one of our authors. I believe it was Liseth Uzubi that shared that in our small WhatsApp chat with our executives. But again, the stats can be deflating, and on the contrary, I use it as fuel to be like, all right, how are we going to show that this
That's
can be
right.
changed, right? How do we roll up our sleeves as a community and really come together as one?
That's right, and filling that opportunity gap. On that note, HR does work with a lot of supervisors. So, if you can name me up to 3 qualities that you believe are essential for a supervisor to have to effectively support and co empower their diverse staff in the workplace. 30 seconds.
30 seconds, 3 things, 10 seconds each. Psychological safety. It's super important, right? We're hearing it more and more. It builds trust and respect. It ultimately means where you can take risks, you can speak up and make mistakes without feeling like you're going to have backlash or negative consequences because you spoke up. The more of us that can do that, more innovative we can become in our different workplaces. And I believe we have so much diversity that, like, with that, if we have a place where we can do this, right, where we can speak up, you'll get many ideas and initiatives that will impact the bottom line for the business. The others, I would say, go hand in hand with respect and communication, right? I put that together. So you know where you're going. You feel like, again, you can be who you are. And the last I would say is growth mindset. Uh, I want leaders that don't feel like they know everything. On the contrary, they want to keep growing and learning, and not just for themselves. They want to learn about me and my culture and my background. They may not be Latina, and so I always take that of, well, what can I teach you? What can I share with you? Or how can you learn through me as well, right? Or in
That's
our
right.
community.
So that is wonderful advice, psychological safety, respecting communication, and growth mindset. And please post your questions in the chat. Make sure that we can, I'm hoping we have enough time for at least one question from the audience. But the second to last question. So this is National Bosses Day, National Jefe Day. What ways, from an HR's perspective, could an organization acknowledge and support individuals from diverse backgrounds?
Sometimes it's just so simple, Lynette. I'm going to tell you a quick story. In HR, we see everything, right? We see who's getting promoted, who's getting the next salary increase, who's getting demoted, who's getting placed on a performance of individual plan, right? And so I would say one of the biggest things is, as a boss, is knowing where your team is standing at and putting that DEI lens of what's going on. The second is, again, we have all these communications that go out that say, congratulations, Priscilla got promoted to this. One time when I was reading that in the newsletter, it was, again, no offense to my brothers and sisters that are white and are men or women, but it was just white man, white man, white man. And I saw that across, like, I'm a visual person. So when I was like, what is happening? Where are the women? Where are the women of
Yeah,
color?
yeah,
What's going on? And
we're
so,
here.
oh, right, we're here. And I think it's that simple sometimes, where it's going, okay, well, when you're even sending out communication, are you putting a lens of DEI over it? And I'm saying to just include folks in there because we are from these backgrounds. I want to believe that we have the skill set and the backgrounds and the abilities and the skills to be able to do
Mhm,
all of these jobs.
mhm.
I just think many times we're also we're not seen. We're made
Yeah,
to be invisible. And so I encourage our corporations, I encourage each one of us in HR to really put those lenses on and to challenge that. It
yeah,
takes time too, because sometimes we wait until we're a little more senior in our careers to be able to vocalize these things. And I would say don't wait, right? There's
yeah,
a way to do it tactfully and to really try to push change, even through your BRGs, which is another great place to do it.
for sure. And to end on a positive note, we have 1 minute left. What are you hopeful for, or a positive story that gives you hope for this year? We're already in October. The end of the year is happening in 2 months. Please share.
The one thing I say before anything is just give yourselves grace, right? Because we have all these goals and ideas we want to do before the end of the year. Give yourself grace. I tell this to myself all the
Yeah,
time. And I see one of my closest friends on the line, Ida, she constantly reminds me of that. And I would say, but what keeps me positive and hopeful is we talked about changing the statistics moving forward and how sometimes we can feel that it just seems so big of a problem, right? We're trying to swallow up the ocean. How do you do that?
yeah,
I really believe we can do it in with throughout the circles of our own leadership and the circles that we're in. And I am very hopeful. We launched our book, and it was so great for you to be there, Lynette, 2 weeks ago.
honored.
Our executive edition, volume 3. You can buy it off of our website, or it's on Amazon as well. But I'm so hopeful because of the authors that we have, not just in that volume, but volume 2 and volume 1, because they
Yeah,
show me every day that it really takes one leader to make a change. It really does. It's
yeah,
not just me, it's any one of them. So that's
absolutely.
what keeps me hopeful. I see it already happening, and it's beautiful when it's put into practice and action.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your inspirational and transformational leadership, Priscilla. And I'll echo what the chat is saying. Thank you for everything. Really appreciate everything. And please keep going and growing, and looking forward to supporting your efforts further. So thank you, everyone. See you next Wednesday for Cafecito con Ace. Gracias.
Thank you, Hannah. Gracias, Ase.